So those of you who have been around the channel for a little while, you already know one of the hills I will die on is that the golden age, to me, in my opinion, of online gaming definitely was the Xbox 360 era. End of story. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So today, Kotaku released a list of good things and bad things for the Xbox 360 era. We're going to take a look at it and stroll down memory lane with some of these things that were good and some of these things that were bad. So let's get into this because, like I said, to me, the Xbox 360 was such a game changer. Let's get into it. So, to kick off the list, of course, Kotaku is going to talk about the best wireless controllers in the box. 100% agreed. I think that genuinely the Xbox 360 controller and the Xbox controller in general, even with the additional stuff that they've done with it, is a very comfortable controller. End of story. The PlayStation controller, people will die on their hill. They talk about how they love having the joy sticks next to each other. I much rather have the joysticks staggered. It just feels more comfortable. It feels like you have more room on the controller. And like, I'm not going to lie. I play on both. I play on my PlayStation quite a bit. And then on top of that, when I play on my PC, I use an Xbox controller. I have tried to play Rocket League on a PlayStation controller, and my hands just don't understand what to do, right? But you throw an Xbox 360 on, controller in my hand, champion, let's go. But definitely the just the design, how it feels, that Xbox glowing green in the middle, like, take me back. Worse, Red Ring of Death. Okay, so the Red Ring of Death, come find out, it was because of thermal paste on the CPU. Any retrospect about the Xbox 360, as I mentioned, that this console is this part of the console's history. For the first few years of the Xbox 360's life cycle, the console was prone to hardware failure due to overheating. I personally had to buy 4 Xbox 360s over the years and send one back to Microsoft for repairs due to all of the hardware issues. While the Xbox 360 was a big success, despite these problems, I wonder how much better it would have been if the Red Ring hadn't been a problem and made people questioning investing in the Xbox. I definitely agree with that, but at the same token, I really wonder how many more Xboxes were actually sold due to the Red Ring. And I think it's hilarious because I had 3 Xboxes Red Ring on me. I had to send 2 in to get refurb by Microsoft. And then my brother was like, I'm going to just start fixing them. And that's when, it's funny is like most of the time, not most of the time, some of the time you could just wrap your Xbox in a towel, cause it to overheat, and it reseat the heat sink, and it would be just fine. So my brother was he had a hustle. He would charge people $100. They bring it over. He'd wrap the damn thing in a towel, heat it up, and then if it worked, cool, he gave it back to him. If it didn't work, then guess what? He would pull it apart, redo the heat sink, and then send it off. What a little hustling bastard. Best, Halo 3. I had so much fun with Halo 3 on the Xbox 360 and just Halo in general because, not only did you have Halo 3, you had Halo Reach. The Halo games were just all around really good games. Bungie's 2007 classic Halo 3. It's hard to explain just how big Halo 3 was in 2007. Oh, absolutely. Especially when the boss came out, pulled it up, and showed the tattoo on his arm, or the fake tattoo. A few months later, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare would arrive and begin chipping away at Halo's dominance on the console, but for a few years before COD took over, Halo 3 was the biggest and coolest FPS player on the planet. Absolutely agreed. And, what's funny was I didn't even get into COD until Modern Warfare 2. And it was because a buddy of mine was peddling Xbox 360 games that fell off a truck, and he was like, hey man, I got Assassin's Creed 2, which I obviously wanted to play, and he goes, I have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I was like, how much each? And he goes, $20 a piece. I'm like, okay. So I bought Assassin's Creed 2, like not even a month after it came out. Modern Warfare 2, not even a month after it came out for $40. And yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was amazing. But at the end of the day, like I played a lot of Halo 3. And the other cool thing that Halo 3 offered, which was free, you won't even see it. It would probably be a subscription now, was you could go to Bungie's website and look at your past, I think it was the past 10 games, and it would show you like where you died and where you got kills. So you could actually like plan and strategize with your buddies looking at like different choke points on the map. Halo 3 was just, it was just so much fun. Worst part, Microsoft points. Okay, if you guys didn't know, there was Microsoft points. Like, freaking, you would have to go out and you couldn't just put your debit card on. Well, you could put it on there, and then you'd have to buy the Microsoft points in order to go into the Microsoft store in order to buy anything, right? It was just this, currency you had to buy in order to use it on your Xbox 360 console. I hated it. I used to have a screenshot or a picture. I think it's on my Facebook. I'll have to see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll post it on my channel. I was playing Borderlands 2 and I booted it up and it told me in order for me to play the DLC, which I'd already bought, I had to spend like 10 million Microsoft points. And I'm just like, what the heck? And I don't even remember what the conversion was for Microsoft points, but let me tell you, like, I think it was like every 1,000 was like $10. So this was like a $40. Oh, wait, it's like every 80 points costed $1. So it's just one of those things. Like, I'm happy that Microsoft and Xbox ended up going to the USD, so I didn't have to worry about doing the whole 80 points for $1. I don't know why they just didn't do around 100 points for $1. Oh my God. Xbox Live Arcade and Summer of Arcade. Okay, so the Summer of Arcade and just the arcade in general, they released a lot of really, really good like indie titles. And it was just so much fun. The Xbox 360 wasn't the first console to offer digital games to players, but it was the first to really embrace the concept of support it long term. Xbox Live Arcade on the Xbox 360 was a great example of this. They curated a select number of games that could be sold digitally at relatively cheap prices. Absolutely. I remember being able to go on there and you could buy like throwback games. Like you could play Crazy Taxi or right here, Castle Crashers. If you haven't played the game Bastion, bro, I am a sucker for hand drawn like video games. Bastion is a beautiful game. Trials HD. Now I come from the era where I remember playing Trials on the Flash player on Internet Explorer, and when it went to the Xbox 360, you best believe I ended up buying it. That didn't take up much space on the hard drive, which is 100% true because let me tell you, you get a 20 gig hard drive. I think it was a 20 gig, 60 and 120, and like those things like they would last forever. And all the Xbox arcade games had free demos or trial versions to try. Loved it. Like if you weren't sure about one of the new titles coming out, you could sit there and actually play the legitimate demo for it. It was so much fun. Even better, for a few years, Microsoft ran a yearly Summer of Arcade promotion where a few select games would be spotlighted. These Summer of Arcade events produced a ton of great titles and got my buddies and me excited to check out smaller games we might have skipped out on otherwise. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because Castle Crashers comes from this. Alien Hominoid was roughly the same era, and I believe you could get it on the Xbox Arcade. Like I said, Bastion, Trials, Shadow Complex. Well, that's enough of the arcade. Move on to the next one. Worse, bad launch time. This is not a lie. Because I didn't get my Xbox 360 until like 2007. And I didn't get it only because there really wasn't any games. There was like no games to play, but it was backwards compatible. By the end of its life, Xbox 360 had developed one of the best video game libraries around, which it did because they had legitimately great like exclusives. You had Halo, you had Gears of War, you had all kinds of stuff. But for its launch, look at these games: King Kong, Madden '06, Perfect Dark Zero, Project Gotham Racing. I will admit, Project Gotham Racing is fun. Tony Hawk American Wasteland. This is one of the last ones. Another feature I totally forgot about is this: Netflix parties. So mind you, back in the day, I remember like 2008 or 9, I can't remember, when Netflix first launched on the Xbox 360, I got it. And I just remember watching all kinds of B-rated movies that were just terrible. So as it progressed, if you had a Netflix subscription and your buddy had Netflix subscription, you could sit there in the party and your little avatars would sit down at the bottom and you could watch movies. This was so much fun, especially like I remember the clan days playing Halo, playing Call of Duty, all that stuff. And like after playing, you know, we would be like, all right, we're toast. We played 10 hours of Call of Duty. Let's watch a movie. And we would all sit there, watch a movie, and just bullshit. Those were the days. Next one. Worst, investing in HD DVD and no Blu-ray support. So, when it came down to it, Blu-ray versus HD DVD, Microsoft versus Sony. And of course, we all know how that came out. Sony won with the Blu-ray. But the funny thing was, you had to buy an external disc reader to play HD DVDs on your Xbox 360. And I believe this was, does it say? I think it was like $150 for just this brick that connected to your Xbox 360 to play it. Next one, achievements. So, it's 2024. We're all used to achievements. We're used to trophies. We're used to all kinds of stuff when it comes to gaming. And accomplishing different things and tasks in a game and being able to like, hey, look, I did this. I got a platinum trophy. Yo, I 100% completed this game, right? I have all the achievements. Xbox 360 is where all that began. Mind you, I'm sitting at like 92,000 gamer score. It's been a while. Worse, paying for multiplayer. Okay, so this was one thing that was always a sticking point. And that was paying for Xbox Live Gold membership. Me personally, I had no issues paying for Xbox Live Gold membership because I could play with my friends and like I felt the people we would play against and the games, the first party titles, Gears of War, Halo, which I keep mentioning, really made it worth it. And then on top of that, they did offer games with gold, which we'll talk about that here in a moment. The thing I say is good is Microsoft didn't have the amount of data breaches that Sony did with the PlayStation. The PlayStation Network got compromised I don't know how many times. And one time it was down for 3 months. So you couldn't play Call of Duty if you had a PlayStation. But if you had an Xbox, you could. I remember, I think it was like, it doesn't say, but 12 months used to be like $60. And offered all kinds of perks. Best, games with gold. Wait. Yeah, that was worst, best, games with gold. Like I said, I knew this was coming up. Okay, yes, having to pay for Xbox Live Gold to watch Netflix and play Halo sucked, but Xbox did begin to offer players free games in 2013 on Xbox 360. That's why my Xbox library is so dense. I have like 800 games because they were offering I think it was like 2 games a month, right? And then they ended up making it even more once the Xbox One came out. It went from 2 games a month to like 3 to 4 games a month. So I had so many games. But not just to mention that, like back in the day, they actually offered pretty decent titles with games of gold instead of nowadays where it was just a bunch of garbage. So you had the Lego Batman game offered, even though it came free with the Xbox 360, right? It never made sense. Let's talk about the less talking point. Worse, the closure of the Xbox 360 store. Well, it comes with a sad heart that a couple weeks ago, the Xbox 360 store did come to an end. It's an end of an era. I made a video talking about it, but it is what it is. I do like how they do mention the Kinect here. If you guys don't know, which most of you probably do know, that is like their version of motion controls that you could play games. It was terrible. Now don't get me wrong, Fruit Ninja was pretty good. Like that one actually worked, but for the most part, a lot of the games did not work really well at all with the Kinect motion control. But like I said, with that being said, the Xbox 360 store is no longer. If you're going to want to get anything, you're going to have to buy it physically, and that will come with a steep price. We're going full screen. So, in conclusion, I like the walk down memory lane, remembering a time before there were achievements, remembering playing games for 10, 12 hours with my buddies, and then being like, hey, we all got Netflix. Let's watch a movie together. The terrible launch titles that you could probably buy all of them for like $1. The arcade, Microsoft Points, which was a headache, but it's a memory. Playing Halo, which is amazing. The Red Ring of Death and my brother's hustle of people is just so funny. And the introduction and the evolution of Xbox controllers. It warms my heart. It takes me to a simpler time. Anyways, you guys, hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget to mash that like button. Subscribe. We're on our way to 9,000 subscribers. I can't do this stuff without you guys. Anyways, y'all take it easy, and I'll catch you later. See ya!